Good evening. Good evening. Comrades, please. Mandla. Thank you everyone for coming. It looks like a very good turnout, and thank you once again for your patience and indulgence. I know we were supposed to start at 6. It's now going on 6:30, and so we need to get the ball rolling. My name is Vukani Mde. I am the group editor for opinion and analysis with the Independent Media Group, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the joint UJ Independent Media dialogue on higher education transformation. Just to sketch out briefly for you the point and purpose of, I don't know if this sounds very wrong to me. I don't know how you guys are experiencing it. I think I may be too close to the mic. Is that better? Yeah, thank you. Just to sketch out for you briefly the point and purpose of why we're here today. I think that you would probably have to have been hiding under a rock not to appreciate and know the fact that there is currently a raging debate in the higher education sector in this country. We find ourselves in a particular moment, a moment of potentially very good, positive, tremendous change, change for the better, a progressive change. We've seen a explosion and what we might call a revival of student activism in campuses across our country, focused quite often on very different issues, particular to the various campuses, but all of them linked by a common thread and a common desire and a common demand for what is usually termed, and I think sometimes glibly, termed transformation of the higher education space. And this has gathered so much momentum that even the state, in the form of the government and the higher education department in particular, has seen it fit to respond to this moment and has seen it fit to try and engage this moment and find out from not only the leaders of this new and exciting movement of young people, but also from the people who are charged with leading our higher education institutions, and engage them as well in a higher education transformation summit. Now that summit takes place in Durban from next week sometime. I think the dates are the 15th. Yes, yeah, the 15th to the 17th of October, which, if I'm not mistaken, is next week. What we are doing here tonight is a pre-summit debate. It's a pre-summit engagement, putting together the university or some parts of university management and students. I think it's a bit of a pity that we don't have any representation of faculty. Because as well as workers on campuses, because those are two very key constituencies in this conversation as well. But yes, somebody at the back, they're saying we're here, and I'm glad, and I hope that you're going to make your presence felt tonight. And make and bring your points across as well. Even if you're not here as part of the panel, you are obviously are free to make an input. In fact, I'm going to try and direct and conduct the debate in such a way that there is maximum participation of the audience and relatively limited participation of the panel, because I think I'll apologize to Professors Kwadi, Rensberg, and Mabizela here, but I do think that the most important people in this room and in this debate are sitting on this side of the room, not on this side. So that is by way of a short introduction of the topic. And I'd like to take the opportunity now to introduce to you my panel. On my immediate right here, I've got someone who should be familiar to all of you here. Professor Aaron Rensberg is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Johannesburg. Welcome, Professor Rensberg. Seated next to him is Professor Den Kwadi, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Northwest University. Welcome, Professor Kwadi. Professor Sizwe Mabizela is the Vice Chancellor of my alma mater, Rhodes University. Professor Mabizela, welcome. And then I've got representatives of the troublemakers as well. I've got Mangaliso Mkonda, who is SRC Secretary General right here at the University of Johannesburg, and I'm sure he'll be familiar to a lot of you guys here. Then I've got, on the extreme right there, although politically she's not on the extreme right, I'm sure, I've got Jody Williams, who is from the Open Stellenbosch movement. Welcome, Jody. The way the debate, the question is structured is this, and I will give it to you simply by way of information. But I would like to invite you. We are free here to rewrite and reinterpret and redirect the question and the debate as we see fit. But what I have been told that we need to talk about is the question of how we can better build platforms of engagement between university management on the one hand and students on the other to enable collective and responsive engagement around issues of inequality and quality of education within a broader context of higher education transformation in this country. That is the broad definition of our topic. There will obviously be more specific questions that I'm going to put to some of our panels, and then you will have the opportunity to also put questions and make points. What I'd like to kick off with is to get each of my participants to give an input on the question as it has just been defined, and to keep it to about 3 minutes each, we should say. Yeah. Thank you. Professor Rensberg, could you please kick us off?
Sanbona? Tobel? I'm not going to sing. So let me begin by taking the first minute and say welcome. Of course, welcome to my colleagues and to our student leaders and the leaders who are in the house and the managers and the workers and the academics who are in the house and have been able to find time. I know that a number of people who should be here are still not here because of transport or issues related to that. Also, our colleagues in the Department of Higher Education. Where's Di? The Deputy Director General for Universities. Warm welcome to you as well. So, just the remaining 2 minutes, of course, to again reinforce the point that we're on the road to Durban. And I do think that it's important to reflect on the previous conference that we had. And I won't do that except to encourage us to go and look back at the discussions, the resolutions that were adopted, so that we can be able to answer questions to what progress we've been able to make. The second observation is that I think it is self-evident that student struggles in particular, but also worker struggles, are demonstrating to us that change is difficult because they have vested interests, isn't it? They are vested interests who are concerned about change or about significant transformation and change. And the challenge, I think, is for us to, as you correctly point out, to talk more about conversations and how we have conversations that matter. Far too often I hear that the conversations between management and student leaders, or management and worker leaders, and so on, that those conversations are useless. That those conversations are pointless because nobody on either side of the conversation are finding it helpful, because nobody is really willing to give anything in that conversation. And I do think that that's a fundamental problem. And I think we need solutions here this evening, some ideas as to how we're going to get to a point where conversations that matter happen. I want to say that to the extent that we have made progress here at the University of Johannesburg, and to the extent that we know that so much remains to be done, so much still remains to be done here at this University of Johannesburg, but to the extent that we have made progress, that has been on the understanding that we are in conversations regularly. And so I have conversations with Mangaliso and with Ukujo, Ramutla, the president, and SG, once a month, so that we can understand what are the issues that confront them, and so that we can say in a month's time, here are the 3 issues we talked about. Have we made progress on those 3 issues? I don't want to give an example of such a conversation that we've just had recently, where we had to give and take, where we had 3 big things that we wanted to do together with the SRC, and we were only able to agree on 1 of them. And then to say 2 of those things, let's park them, and let's deal with them next year, as we build up to the SRC elections. So I do think that vice-chancellors, managers, and I'm going to stop now, my time is up, I'm aware of that we as managers and vice-chancellors have a duty. It is a duty. I see it as my duty that conversation underpins everything that we try and accomplish here at the University of Johannesburg. And so the monthly conversation is good, but it's also important to get a feel of the campus. And so we've got 4 campuses. This morning we spent 4 hours at the Soweto campus in conversation with student leaders first, or second, and first with staff. It's an important place to get a feel of the issues and to create a safe environment. So it's no good just to say, let's talk. And the environment is one that says, if you talk, I'll deal with you. Right? Or if you talk, we're going to bring in, what is the word? The disciplinary police. Right? If you do this or that, we're going to make sure that you're out of the university. I think that's a big problem. And so if we say conversation is critical and important, equally important is to create a safe space for that conversation to happen. And I think that we try our best here at the University of Johannesburg. I've got many other thoughts that I would want to throw in the conversation. And so I end off just for now by suggesting that it's self-evident that unless we have conversation that is meaningful, conversation that ends up on agreed tasks, on agreed goals, conversation that results in us being accountable to each other for what we agreed upon and reporting and measuring progress every month, right? And then finally, conversation in which we're all free to talk, whether it's management feeling not threatened to have the conversation, or student leaders feeling neither threatened in order to engage their activities and their campaigns. So let me stop there. Thank you very much for now.
Thank you, Professor. Professor Rensberg. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for you to add on to and expand upon your thoughts. Professor Khwadi, if we could have an opening statement from you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm not the host, so I will not stand up. You're welcome. Yes, indeed, as Professor Rensberg indicated, engagement is very important. And one thing that I would say I always depart from at the Northwest University with the student leaders is that we are co-leaders, perhaps not co-managers, because then management is a different thing altogether. But in terms of leadership, it's very important to understand that we are all leaders. Students are leaders, and management, we are also leaders. And of course, the first thing we have to admit and acknowledge is that as leaders, we are navigating a very complex situation. The environments that we are navigating, it's that of conflict of interest, and I think you touched on that one, Prof. Iron. We're dealing with conflicts. If you talk about, perhaps, for an example, issues relating to language, which are kind of topical these days, we are sort of reliving the 1976 when it comes to the debates around language and Afrikaans specifically. And you have to balance those with issues relating to access, the right of the language and the right of access. So how do you come up and create a balance on some of these? This is the complexity that we navigate. And the student leaders at the universities, you are leaders of all students at a particular institution. And the students also have got your followers, your constituencies, also have got conflicting interests. But then as leaders, you've got to be able to see how you navigate this in the best interest of all. So in that sense, we share a common dilemma, and we need the same skill as leaders to see how we can lead the institutions and take them forward, irrespective of the differences. And if you think, of course, as universities, being the microcosm of the societies in Kampu, it's a very complex South African society we have out there. And that complexity, we experience the same at our own universities. So we should be able to, as institutions of higher learning, come up with solutions that can be prototype for solutions of the societies that we live in. It will be a very unfortunate situation if universities cannot come up with solutions that could become prototypes for societal problems or challenges. So in all this, if we admit and acknowledge the challenges that we all have as co-leaders, then we will be able to, with the same commitment, engage constructively so, and of course, importantly so, engage robustly so, without any fear for victimization, as it may sometimes appear from the student side, that perhaps the more robust you get, then you're likely to be victimized. We got to clear the environment of such. Thank you very much.
Professor Kwadi. Professor Mabiza.
Thank you, Program Director, fellow panelists, comrades and friends. 2015 will go down in history as a watershed year in higher education. After 21 years after the advent of our democracy, there is palpable discontentment, disenchantment, and impatience with the pace of transformation and responsiveness in our society. And this manifests itself in our campuses of higher learning. The revival of student activism is long overdue. So we owe a debt of gratitude to our students for pushing transformation as forcefully as they have. And the worst thing that we could possibly do is to construct them as angry, irresponsible, ill-disciplined young people. I think we would be doing a huge injustice to the good cause for which they are standing. They may be few in numbers, but no one will dispute the importance of the issues they are bringing to the fore. The events of 2015 have created a space for us to reimagine our future. So it is both exciting and challenging to be in higher education at this time in the history of our country. And if we don't take full advantage of this incredible opportunity that has been created for us, history will judge us very harshly. As someone commented recently, 21 years into our democratic dispensation, the age of innocence is well and truly over. Many young people and staff in universities experience a sense of alienation in those institutions. We still have racism, sexism, homophobia, bigotry, prejudice, and all other forms of chauvinistic behaviors in our campuses. We must create and maintain institutional environments that are positive, affirming, supportive, and inclusive. We must attend to the issues of the curriculum. Are we still privileging knowledge from Europe and North America to the exclusion of knowledge that comes from other parts of the world? I think we have to embrace knowledge coming from South America, coming from the rest of the African continent, coming from the East, and we must make sure that we equip our students with the skills to analyze knowledge coming from diverse parts of the world. My own experience with my students is that they just want to be listened to and they want to be heard. So the least that we can do is to listen to them and engage them. There are issues of access to higher education. There are many young people who qualify to be in higher education, but through no fault of their own, cannot afford to access higher education. There are issues of success. Recent report which had been commissioned by CHE tells us that 27% of young people who go to higher education institutions complete their degree programs in regulation time. And more than 50% of them leave higher education without a qualification of any form at all. That is a colossal waste of human talent. We should talk about funding of higher education in this country. And that is very important to address some of the issues pertaining to transformation and change. I think I must pick up on the points made by my colleagues. We need to engage each other. And as we do that, we should not trivialize, delegitimize, or be dismissive of each other's views or experiences. We should not call each other names, but we should use the power of reasoned argument, logic, and debate to forge common ground on those issues where we hold different views. And we should always remain open-minded and be willing to be persuaded to change our positions based on the quality of the argument that is advanced. A university is by its very nature a democratic space in which all contending views, perspectives, and ideas must be heard and debated. However strongly you may believe in the correctness of your position, views, or perspectives, you must accept and respect that other people may hold different views, may have different perspectives, and may have different positions. And that is why it is so important for all of us to create safe spaces for engagement, because it is through that engagement that we can start to reimagine our higher education. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Mabiza. And just to comment that I do wish that you had been the VC at Rhodes when I was there, because your concept of what kind of space the university needs to be is a lot more inviting and a lot more comforting and a lot more opens up it opens up the space for the students there. I mean, my experience of Rhodes back in the 1990s was
Think of the
very, very
70s
different.
when I was there.
Yeah, I thought that would have been even worse.
Yeah,
you probably would have been one of a tiny handful of black students there.
First year I was amongst 20 black students.
Exactly, there you have it.
Tough.
We're now going to move on to our SRC representatives, and I'd like to apologize to you guys if it seems that my panel is a bit imbalanced in favor of management. We did have other comrades who were meant to join us, but I think Joburg's legendary traffic issues has sort of messed them up. We also had Troy Matebula from the Val University SRC, and Ms. Busi Mashika from the University of Fort Hare SRC were meant to join us, but I think they haven't been able to, or they might still be on the way, who knows. But if you are either of those people and you've come in late, please feel free to come onto the stage and balance this out. You're welcome to join us. Please feel free. I'd like to move on now to Jodie Williams of Open Stellenbosch and get her opening views.
Good evening.
Can somebody help Jodie with her mic? Is it on? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jodie. I hail from the Western Cape, Stellenbosch University, and I'm a representative of the Open Stellenbosch movement.
It's not on. I think you have to turn it on there. Oh, it is on. It's on. It's on.
Is it on? Yeah.
It's on, but it's not working.
And this is not sabotage.
Ouch. Okay. All right.
There we go. Hello. Okay, so I am a representative of the Open Stellenbosch movement down at Stellenbosch University. And I'm very, very pleased to be here, to be contributing to a very, very important conversation that we should be having. And I'd just like to throw out a bit of a disclaimer. I think the discourse surrounding transformation is very much dominated by the term platforms for engagement. And we all realize that that is very important, yes, but we fail to sort of conceptualize how we get there. So I jotted down 3 very, very crucial and important points that we need to be cognizant of before we can even start engaging. So my first point was that we need to ask ourselves, who sets the terms of engagement? And in my opinion, that is us, the greatest stakeholders of this transformation project, the students. Then also, we need to ask ourselves, how do we engage with the drivers of this transformation project when they clearly have indicated a sense of incompetency due to a lack of understanding of what transformation is? Then my last point, I'd like to just point out that how do you instill a sense of trust that these drivers of this transformation project, how do you trust that they will act in good faith? How do you trust that they will understand the needs of marginalized students on campus? And once again, this points to a greater problem, and that points to the problem of lack of representation within these very important decision-making bodies. And when I speak of lack of representation, yes, I speak of lack of black representation, but I also speak of lack of women within these important decision-making bodies. I speak of the lack of non-binary people in these decision-making bodies. I speak of the fact that these decision-making bodies are dominated by heteronormative and male voices, the very people who benefit from the very structures that we are trying to overthrow and change. So I think before we can start talking about this platform of engagement, which is very, very important, yes, we need to talk about how we get there. We can't be having meaningful conversations that will yield fruitful solutions without analyzing these barriers that even get us to that conversation. So I'd just like us to be cognizant of these things moving forward in this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Mangaliso?
Thank you, leadership. Thank you, Program Director. And my revolutionary greetings to my fellow panelists, the comrades that are in this place, university leaders, student leaders, and from, of course, the management.
Management.
You are greeted. I see even student activists from different formations in this house. And maybe that, to me, now starts to actually pose a question to say, where do we need to have these engagements? To have these engagements in auditoriums where only students and student leaders can come and attend, or do we need to take it to our nearest location, Alexander or Soweto, so that the community can be involved in discussions and engagements of this transformation agenda? South Africa, there is a youth movement in South Africa, and I think we cannot be ignorant of the fact that young people are taking it to the streets. Young people are taking it out there to say, we've been in these institutions of higher learning and we've seen injustice and inequalities manifesting before our very own eyes. And we have gained momentum. And another question is, what do we do with this momentum? Movements like Rhodes Must Fall, movements like Open Stellenbosch, are not given so much attention except when we come here in gatherings like this. That to me is a problem on its own. But my input will be on this transformation agenda. Firstly, let me start by rankings, university rankings. I hate university rankings. I hate the criteria that is used to rank our universities. The best university in Africa does not offer African history and is the best university in Africa. So it goes to tell that universities are aiming or pursuing global excellence without being responsive to what is happening in our nation, in our country, and the continent at large. Look, fellow students and comrades, there's quite a number of things that I actually jotted down to say I'm going to go through. But this revolution feels like it's not going to need a pen and a paper. It needs us to have intellectual engagements, not notes or videos downloaded from YouTube or anything that we can come and impress one another with bombastic words and nice posh English, and we still leave this room with our institution untransformed. I think it needs us as young people to realize that South Africa is still celebrating a youth of 1976 in 2015. 39 years after Hector Peterson and the group of Tsietsi Mashinini fought for a transformed system, we are still submissive to a system that is oppressive. I'm going to speak about the curriculum of universities that needs to be decolonized. Because what I've noticed is that our curriculum is equipping us and training us to join the labor force. So we are taught so that we can be able to get a degree, get a certificate for you to be relevant to the society, for you to get a credit card, for you to get credit to have a car, credit to have a house and all of that. But we are not empowered actually as young people to go and push barriers out there and push the whole agenda of transformation. So that speaks to the curriculum. And again, I'm going to address the issue of having these sessions. Year in and year out, university representative council members, SRCs and unions, they come and go. So until universities have a single contact group that is going to continuously engage on this transformation agenda, we will always be, in our approach, diagnostic. We'll always come here and say, but where is the problem? And we get where the problem is, and it's 9 o'clock, we must leave. The next group next year will come and say, where is the problem? So I think we need structures that are going to be a single contact group. And again, before I pass on to my colleagues who are not here, maybe I must actually utilize their 3 minutes. Okay, in the 30 minutes that I have, I meant to say the 30 seconds. In the 30 seconds that I have, I wanted as well to speak about this whole benchmarking that universities continue to engage on. We benchmark in all these nice universities, and we come back and we submit reports and all of that. But whatever that we're benchmarking never gets to be implemented. And maybe it's because knowledge needs to account of space. Maybe it's because we're benchmarking the Eurocentric way and not maybe the African way of benchmarking. So, in closure, economic standards of individuals should not be part of the criteria in allocating and giving services. And I want to speak, this transformation as well needs to speak to our economic imbalances and inequalities. It seems like the people who are pushing this transformation agenda are the people who needs to pay for this transformation to happen. And the people who are economically empowered, who can help us in this transformation agenda, are laid back. So it seems like it's going to cost the very same people who are victims of the system to actually fight the system. And I have a lot to share, and university management cannot continue to be these ivory towers that students cannot be able to approach and engage on critical issues. So that needs students, young people who are going to stay in these universities, continue further their studies. Now I'm challenging my people to get this doctorate, get this PhD, so that we can sit in these senates and these councils that make decisions, not with us, but for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mangalis. Thank you very much. I'm glad you mentioned YouTube, even if you mentioned it in a dismissive context, because you've reminded me that I was asked to tell everyone that this debate is actually streaming live right now on the UJ YouTube channel. I'm going to go back to something that both you and Jody said, or rather a couple of things that the two of you said, as a way of moving this debate forward. Because I think that it may actually expose a fundamental difference between that side of my panel and this side of the panel. You use certain words that I listened out for when the three professors here were speaking, but did not hear. Jody, you said something about the very system that we are trying to overthrow and change. That's the first word I want to note, overthrow. Mangaliso said something about decolonization. That's the second word, decolonization. And I think you also said something, you also mentioned the word revolution. I'm getting the sense that, and I'd like to pose this to all of you as a question. Are we, when we're holding this debate on transformation of the higher education sector, are we actually all speaking about the same things? Or do you find that various interlocutors are looking for different outcomes that may often be quite exclusive, contradictory. I assume that Professor Mabizela and Professor Huat and Professor Rensburg aren't are seeing this process as a revolution, whereas you may be. Professor Mabizela, let me start with you.
Thank you, Program Director. I do understand the context within which the term decolonization is used. And I think there is merit in the use of the term if one understands it in the sense of reading our higher education of its colonial vestiges. And I think that's very important. We were colonized, and many, if not all, countries that were colonized, their educational systems were designed by the colonizers to advance a colonial project. And I think that is very important. We must recognize that. And I think in 2015, we should start to look at knowledge, as I've indicated, look at it from different perspectives, particularly the exclusion or non-inclusion of knowledge coming from South Africa, from the rest of the African continent, from South America, from the Far East, is completely inexcusable in 2015. I think it is about time that we start to embrace knowledge in its totality and start to embrace epistemic traditions from diverse parts of the world, because we need to create a rich educational experience for our students, so that in the curriculum, their lived experiences find expression, that they can recognize their own experiences being reflected in the curriculum. And I think that is important.
Can I make it, bring it down to specifics then? In the space where you yourself are in charge. Yeah. When I was a Rhodes history undergraduate, I think the first part of the syllabus was learning about the theories of Hugh Trevor Roper, who wrote that the history of Africa is nothing but the gyrations of barbarous tribes across inconsequential corners of the globe. And I'd like to know how it has changed. That was 1995. Yeah. How the history curriculum, especially, but more generally, how the curriculum is changed or has changed at Rhodes to embrace alternative knowledge systems, as you say.
Look, there are young, dynamic academics, particularly in history, who are presenting history from different parts of the world, and certainly history from the African continent. And again, this becomes very important because history is normally written from the perspective of the victors. And so it is very important that as we move forward, we start to record history from our own perspective, so that future generations can start to understand the history of this country and of this continent from a completely different perspective. I'm quite excited because you might know one of them is Nomalanga Mkhize, who writes quite a lot in the media. There is a new generation that is challenging what one would call Western presentation of history.
Thank you. Professor Rensburg, let me ask you, how do you understand the difference between, if there is a difference, between transformation and the transformation project and decolonization as defined by first Jody and now Professor Mabizela? Or am I wrong in seeing a dichotomous relationship between those two?
No, I think that you're right, that these are linked projects. In fact, it's part of a far wider project in the post-colony. And And so if we look 50 years of the post-colony, including South Africa's 21 years, then the evidence is of us standing still. It's difficult to look over these 50 years of the post-colony experience and to be able to conclude that we've been able to push forward significantly. And so we may have deracialized the elites in our nation states across the post-colony, but we have not transformed root and branch. If you want to use the word revolution, that's cool. I'm okay with that. But we have not transformed root and branch. And the substance of society, of human society. This past week, on Friday and Saturday, we had Thomas Piketty here at the University of Johannesburg, together with Nelson Mandela Foundation, and he spoke about this topic as eloquently as any other African scholar would, to make the point that inequality in South Africa's instance is worse today than it was 21 years ago. It's quite extraordinary, right? That we have gone backwards instead of forwards. And so I think as Professor Mabizela has pointed out, and drawn our attention to this embeddedness of the university, I think he also, Dan, in our society, and therefore that the struggles of society must ultimately find their way into our university. And sometimes, unfortunately, also the means or methods used in those struggles. So let me make this point then that, and I was hoping that Mangaliso would go that route. As he was speaking, I thought that he was heading, maybe you couldn't get there. Yeah. I thought he was going to get to the point of making that we need a new 76 generation. We need a new project. That you know, it's cool talking about 76, my generation, right? It's cool talking about my generation, but it's your generation's time. And I'm sure you know Frantz Fanon on this topic, right? You know Frantz Fanon on this topic, that every generation from allegedly relative obscurity must find its mission, must accomplish it, what's the word? Fulfill it, or must betray it, right? And I do think it is now overdue that we celebrate the 76ers. It is time that we celebrate you, right? It is time for you to define yourself, and I think that, I'll use your first name now, Caesar, but you have demonstrated to us, you've given made the point to us, that this is an epoch-changing possibility that sits in front of us. The risk is that it becomes an intractable conflict between your movement, right, and this management and the vested interest in our institutions. And our challenge is to get to that point. In the case of the University of Johannesburg, we have been fortunate in that when we established the new university 10 years ago, we could almost start afresh. And I use the word almost, because almost means that we also take 900 academics, now 1,200 academics, into the university. And that is history that you are carrying. That's, no, use the baggage. It's history. It's legacy that we're carrying into the new institution. And I do think that everyone who's spoken has made the point here that it is that that history, is that legacy that we need to contend with, that we need to struggle with. And that us coming in as vice-chancellors for a short time as well, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years if we're lucky, right? Maybe 15 years if we're very unlucky, right? Even us as we come in, we must recognize the limits of our authority, of our influence. And we must be open to examining how do we make, in this instance of UJ, 1,200 permanent academics, how do we go forward? with 1,200 permanent academics. And so yes, you may find pockets of progressive thinking and ideas and so on and so forth, very progressive. But you may find that the legacy, the history that you're carrying is tradition. It is either the old colony or it is the post-colony a troubled post-colony. So I want to end off then by saying that we've had this opportunity at UJ to make headway on a number of fronts. And I'll just pick on one. So when we started here, only 9% of academics were black in this university. We didn't talk about it, our game plan. We sat down with the SRC, with the leaders in labor, with council. We said we're going to make headway on this. Yeah? We were, mocked and called names and things like that. What is it today? It's 37% black academics. I don't count international or black African from the continent. So we've moved from 9% to 37%, and we don't shout in the newspaper and the media about it. But remember, that is unfinished work, because that's the numerical, and we've set targets for ourselves, and we will get there. But that is, again, the project reinforced of the post-colony, because we need to go below that, right? What sits below having deracialized the university? It's this point that you raise. It's about the curriculum. It's about the location. And I should sorry, I said I'll stop now. I should make the point to you, especially as our future leaders, present leaders, but future leaders in politics and society, in these universities, for that matter as well. Consider how Africa must, over the next 2 generations, right, next 50 years, move from 1.2 billion to 4.2 billion people. Have you imagined what that should mean to the world, and how Africa then should be shaping the world in terms of ideas? Well, we better get those ideas in our curriculum in the first instance. And that's, I think, an important struggle. I prefer to use the word struggle than revolution, right? So we're on the same page, and I agree entirely that it is simply non-negotiable for us to tackle this issue. Yes, we must deracialize. There's no negotiation about that. But as we deracialize our student bodies, our staff bodies, as we make them diverse, as we rise to the challenge of building this new nation of ours, so we must face up to the fact that the post-colony 50 years on has delivered very little.
Thank you. Professor Khwadi, do you agree that we need a new 1976 generation? I quite like the 2015 generation myself. But,
I think before I respond to that question, I just want to perhaps address the question you raised earlier regarding, does transformation really mean the same to all of us? I would say perhaps for this panel it might be a little bit boring for you, because you realize that the panel has bought into the transformation issue.
Yeah.
And I would say to a greater extent, yes, it means the same. But you could bring up a different panel that could actually come and argue about the issue of transformation. Some of whom may actually have not such a positive approach to it, because to some people transformation comes out as a swear word.
Including at Northwest.
Because it doesn't really mean the same to all of us. Some people may look at transformation as something that is bringing in some fears. Oh, can I get the mic?
Sorry, I'm going to open this up to the audience very, very soon. So could we? Yeah. So please, everyone, no, please take your seat. I'm going to open this up very, very soon. So just a bit more patience.
Yes, okay. What I was saying, Program Director, is that we also need to acknowledge the fact that in the country, to some people, transformation really is a swear word, because there are fears that comes with it. And hence, therefore, the issues about whether it's a revolution, when you talk about change, you will realize that some people feel that the change is too slow. And they say it's an evolution. And to others, while there's a planned change, they tend to feel it's a revolution. And it brings with it some fears. So it is important perhaps that we can look at that much broader.
Sorry, hi, everyone. I did make the point that when I began and I introduced everyone here, that in my view, the most important participants here are going to be the people on this side of the room, and that you will get the chance to in fact direct the debate the way you want it. However, yes, that's exactly. Thank you very much for that input. But I had hoped when I said that. Sorry, I had hoped that when I said that you would make your input, but you would make it in such a way. Listen, I didn't disallow anyone from speaking. Okay. Can you please? Yeah. That gentleman that just got up now. Please make your point. Can we give him a mic? Do you have a mic?
Don't be intimidated.
Sure.
No, I won't.
Look, my comment was a simple thing. I just want to know, like, why are we not given the chance? Yes, you've had your opportunity to say your inputs, but the conversation is remaining there. We are sitting here, there's many things we've written down. We want to discuss. I think such events, the panelists should just say what they want to say. Like tennis, you pass the ball to the other player. Don't keep the ball to yourself. Tennis is not played like that. That's not how you play tennis. Tennis, you pass the ball to the other one. Thank you.
Now, I hope that you're going to give me a chance to answer the question. You've asked a specific question. Why have we kept the debate here on this side, right? That's your question, right? Now, allow me to answer you. We have scheduled we have about 2 hours scheduled to do this debate. We started at 6:30. I gave each and every one of my panelists time to make their opening statements, and then I asked a single question to each and everyone. In all of that time, we've used up about 30 to 40 minutes of the time we have allocated, right? We still have about 90 minutes in which only your views are going to be heard. So please do not assume. So please don't assume that because I haven't got to that point, we're never going there.
Sure.
We are. Okay. All right.
I'm speaking.
Now, and
Can
also, can we have just one person speaking, please?
Sure. Comrades, please. So I think it's very much indicative of the very conversation that we're having today. As in, when we speak of these terms of engagement, you are going to try and police our views, you are going to try and police our rage, you are going to try and undermine the complexity of black pain that comes with this question of transformation in South Africa. I think we're not honest. Number one, this is where this thing starts. Education is not an isolated struggle. It is formed in a social space. We exist in a particular society. And our failure to accept the fact that South Africa, as it is a Bantustan enclave that is still racist and still expressive of the old colonial patterns, structural. Leave the university. So now we want to come here. I mean, look, we can point out all those three different political epochs where South Africa's education has gone under. The British Royal Education System, which is, by the way, still practiced at Dr. Mabizela's Rhodes University. The Bantu Apartheid education, which is by and large practiced at the professors there, Peke and Stellenbosch there. And the neoliberal education system, which is found at UJ, which is found at WITS, which is found at UWC, which is found at... So let us be frank. Can we really have transformation in an untransformed society? Number one. Can we really speak of a revolution when we have those in political power that fail to use the political power begotten, 20 years later, we're still speaking of a language policy in universities. 20 years, we're still speaking of workers that don't have UIFs, medical aid, workers that don't get paid. 20 years later, and we want to speak progress. Vice chancellors want to come and massage us here and speak like they are, and all these things. It is what is happening in South Africa today. We must not run away. There's a revolution happening in South Africa. If you vice chancellors are going to stop it, the people themselves will lead themselves, like it happened in those communities where mining towns operate, like it happened in communities where other corrupt individual acts are happening. And where is now, you even mentioned of statistics of 7% UJ staff, now it's 37%. You fail to mention that staff is only associates, clerks, junior lecturers. There's no decision-making power of black people in those structures. So we cannot fail to admit racism still exists, particularly here. This university still reflects the old raw patterns. It exploits workers. The fees, now interest rates, you are going to charge students interest rates, you are going to block their fees, but you want to come here and speak of transformation to us. Why are you lying to us, VC? Why?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that input, and I would like to reiterate again what I said at the beginning, that you have the right to make those inputs. I just want us to give each other a chance. So anyone who wants to make an input, as long as I've got you there, I've noted you, you will get the chance to make those inputs. But I need you to also acknowledge that if you are going to make inputs and if you are going to make very specific points that are meant for Professor Rensburg, that I have to return to him and say, Professor Rensburg, please answer that. Okay? So you've said that the stats that were quoted by Professor Rensburg here earlier are misleading, and that they don't give the full picture of transformation of the faculty, and that there is a shortage when it comes to actual empowerment of black staff rather than appointments of black staff. I would like you to give Professor Rensburg a chance to respond to that. Thank you, Professor Rensburg, please.
So this is the problem when we shout at each other. This is the problem when we are unwilling to listen to each other or talk to each other. We shout at each other, and then it becomes a he said, she said conversation. And I don't think that is going to take us forward. And so I think I need to correct the idea that UJ's staff is 37%. I think it's a fallacy. You know, the staff at university, the staff at University of Johannesburg is 68% black. The academic staff I referred to was 9% black, it's 37% black. Is that not progress, Mangalis? Is that no progress? Huh? Is that no progress? So, if we cannot even agree on the idea of what is progress, right, then the conversation goes nowhere. Now he wants to respond again to me. So he said, she said, it's a waste of our time.
This is why I asked the question of, are we talking about the same things? Do we understand this process the same way? Because now, at 37% black academic staff, you contend is now not being seen as progress. Can I have this lady right here, please? Oh, sorry, I can't see up there. Sure.
Sanborn. Mina ngizokhuluma isiZulu la ekhaya.
Sure.
Yingani ngikhuluma isiZulu sikeke sichaze lento. Yingani ngikhuluma isiZulu lapha kumabizela. Ngifuna ukuthi noma nilapho niqonde ukuthi lana kuse-Afrika. Masiyekeni ukukhuluma ngamalimi amnandi ushile enkokheli. Niyangixaka ke manje mase ngiqhamuka ngikhuluma amalingi lona la ngesikhuluna zekona ngawo. Asinendaba ukuthi bayezwe noma bezwe, singibeke. Asike siqonde lokho. Naku ke ange nginikele into enifunayo. Okay, first and foremost, right? We cannot, I emphasize, we cannot. We're busy talking about all these things and we know exactly where we stand, all of us. Even you guys there, sitting there, you know where we stand. And we're fighting the same battle you are fighting. And the same generation you were with, Prof. Rensberg. It's us now, we're continuing the same bait, but you are standing in the front of us and saying, you cannot go this direction. And it's true. Because if we feel like this right now, it's the same rage you had. And it's the same anger you see in all these faces. It is not because we're not sitting down, we're doing something. And at the expense, you guys are sitting there and stopping us. Why is that? Why is that, sir? It's because we are having the light. First and foremost, the Freedom Charter is 60 years this year. And it's talking about the doors of learning, not of education, the doors of learning are open to all. Not of education. There's a difference between educated and learned. And you know this, guys, you're academics. You know this, guys. That's why the solution is only one, Prof. The South African system needs to take out the money and make sure that this is the solution for this education system. This is the solution. First and foremost, there are districts at small level, right? And at small level, right, these grade 12, when they pass, we know the cream of the crops. And the academic staff need to take those letters, give them for free. We don't need NSFAS. We need the government to say, we have these funds. You guys take these papers and say to those institutions, I qualify for this. I can go into that. Because you know why? You fought for it. And you've got the qualification to do that. And you've got the mandate to do that. But now that's why you see all of us are really boiling inside, because the same truth, even those people who are sitting here, they know the same truth. Why should we compromise while they never compromised? I'm asking a simple question. Why should we compromise? They never compromised. They never did any such. For instance, I know people where I come from are very old, and they will tell you this was the land which my father owned. And when somebody came there, they shot that person and they told them they want him out by the end of the day after they buried this body. Now tell me, and then you see all these faces of this motherland. And the solution is only one. Why can't we make the doors of education, not of learning, education, open to all? And then make sure that this money you claim we pay tax with, those who have passed very well, let's not degrade the standard of universities. And we're not going to transform universities. We need to decolonize them. Because why decolonizing them makes them, we want to study about Mansa Musa. We want to study about the pyramids who made them. We want to study about, look at my nose. It's not straight nose. It's a nose which the African thought. Because it's so hot, I need to cool my thinking. That's why it's this big. And I love it. And I love myself and my fellow Africans. So in that regard, I would say, please, you guys in the front, stop blocking us. You are blocking us. We're trying to come up with decolonization. You started, we're continuing the bait. You give us the bait. So we're running.
Okay, thank you. Can we move the mic to the gentleman right here?
I'm going to be very arrogant, because I find the University of Johannesburg to be very arrogant. You can't call us to come here and speak of transformation, yet you still have a Department of Afrikaans and a Department of African Languages. Then it means there's no equality in this university, yet you still want us to come here. It gives people arrogance to view us, the black people, as nothing but small waters. I demand that the university respect the black child and give us the same equality as Afrikaans, because surely this is our land and surely we were here before other people.
Good evening, guys. Amandla. Mina nguSinabo Okwamnqonywa, the Academic and Transformation Officer for the province for the Black Management Forum. Ubhuti noSisi, they resonated some of the sentiments that I have, and in that this is a revolution, and the managements, VCs to be specific, they ought to stop being autocratic. You are here because of us, and not the other way around. We need to take cognizance of that. And secondly, we cannot take things lying down. We cannot be passive. And the revolutions that happened in the Western Cape with UCT as well as Stellenbosch, they're just the tip of the iceberg. And we cannot sit and be oblivious to the reality that we are free on paper, but not in reality. And we are going to fight this. We're saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. I came back to do my postgrad now. When I left doing undergrad, the same unbecoming atrocities and oppression were happening. And almost 10 years down the line, they're still happening. It cannot be. It cannot be. We say enough is enough.
Sorry, thank you. Can you move the mic? There's a gentleman here. But just before we do that, Baba, hold on. Just before we do that, though, I get the sentiment from you that enough is enough. We can't constantly be having these conversations. But the next person that speaks, the sense that I want to get is from you. What now? What are you proposing should be done? Yes, decolonize, but define for me what you mean by that. Thank you.
Hello, hi. My name is Karabui Kaneng. I'm from Stellenbosch University. First, the problem with these sort of panel discussions is that none of you have the power, actually. So we can keep having conversations about decolonization and ideology, but the fact remains is that councils of your university are the ones we want to be having these discussions with. First of all, you say that you are the 1976 generation, and I feel that every time conversations like this arise with the group of the generation of 1976, it almost seems like we've done our job, now it's time for you guys to do your job. Actually, decolonization is going to take all of us to actually do work, and you guys are in the power. That's the funny thing, is the people that are restricting us the most from this is the actual group of 1976 in terms. They're the ones restricting us. They're in the power, in political power, but yet nothing gets done. And then we have to start to ask ourselves, money. We need to get people that actually understand money of these councils to sit down and tell us exactly the opinions of the people actually who are to the right, why we cannot actually get transformation going. Because we can seriously sit here forever, but we need to get councils and these 1%ers to come sit where we actually critically challenge them. I think on an ideological stance, we all agree on the same things. Yes, we understand decolonization, but we need those people in front of us. Otherwise, we're just preaching to the choir or the church.
So can you... There's a very big problem here. Ngicela ngiqale ngixolise bamfla bakhulu sikwatile ngekujike. Man, hold up butwami. Ngive. Lapho la ngivela khona mfana babe, inhlonipho ihamba embili. Ngiyafuna ukukhuluma, allow me to talk. Here is the problem. For as much as you guys are saying you want transformation in tertiary, start at the grassroots levels. For every one African child, lokhona, you pit it against 60% of a minority in South Africa that graduates. For every black child who is underprivileged, whose parents are not working, you give him a bursary and as yet you tell him, no, it's fine, we will only certificate you, not educate you. We will only sharpen you to make profit in the near, 2-3 years. You do not enable me to think outside the box. When somebody says, who is Mansa Musa? 90% of us here cannot answer that question. And as yet you are continually feeding us a system of education that even the people in the States are rejecting. The books that we are using are written, do not use outside of the Americas. Then why are we being educated in... We are not considered human beings in Africa when education began here. We are the authors of the very thing that you already have. We are hungry, but we are being held back by our elders. My saying I'm sorry is not an apology for what was happening. I am sorry because we cannot compare ourselves with the youth of 1976. This is 2015. 21 years down the line, we are still oppressed. You go to the S.A University of Technology. Students were protesting a couple of weeks back. But tell me, will that be resolved? Or it's only resolved on paper? You are excluding students for not paying, and as yet you know very well that the parents who fought for this democracy are not able to pay for that. You mentioned, you quoted Frantz Fanon, but also please do correct me if I'm wrong. He also says the moment you talk somebody else's language, you adopt their cultures. You forget who you are. 2015, university students still treated like kindergarten children. We were told to stand in line as if we were gunning for sweets. We've come to address issues that are burning us. Maybe just because the professors have made it in life, they don't care. But no, we will fight. This is no longer a revolution, it's an evolution. We are changing the whole system. If it means to overhaul the engine, the fire is coming.
Okay. Chairperson, chairperson of the session, chairperson of the session over here. Hello. Yeah. Hello. It's me. If I may interject.
No, sorry. It's because I've completely turned my attention to this side of the panel now. Sorry.
If I may
Jody.
interject, I'd just like to not request but demand that we start acknowledging hands of women in the audience. I think that this discourse surrounding transformation is way too often dominated by male voices. So I ask that we recognize some of the women in the audience.
I'm very sorry for that. I'm very sorry. That will be done.
Sorry, hold on. You're going to speak right now. That is true, Jody, and acknowledged. Although in my defense, I did think that guy over there was a woman. So, and he was the very second person that I called upon to speak. Please speak, sir, and then the mic is there with that lady after you.
I will speak. Bambe Sasko Bambe. So, comrades, mine is very simple. Look, leadership of Stellenbosch, I acknowledge that. But I will speak now, you understand? Because I have views. Let me express them. You cannot be telling me that someone else has views. We'll all speak here. Moving forward. Look, we can sit here. And so, we can come here. Some of us may apologize to you. I'm not one of them. Mine is very simple. Standing here in front of you, we have demanded, in fact, free education. And some of you have asked, how do we think that we'll get this free education? Well, for starters, maybe we have to look at how much all of you there earn in order to fund this free education. Maybe, just maybe, we have to look at how many of our friends in Sentin earn to fund this free education. It's not going to come from us, the working class, because we are working for those peanuts. Our parents are working for those peanuts. So it cannot be expected that they pay for them. Secondly, we were talking on the issue of decolonizing education. How do we decolonize it? You said you were looking for solutions, but solutions were given here. You were told to teach African literature. It was very clear. Moving forward, Malcolm X once spoke, and when he spoke, he said that only a fool would allow his enemy to teach his children. Look at what is happening in the University of Johannesburg. Look at what is happening in the law faculty. I do law, by the way. And it seems to be their thing that if you do not understand something in English, it must be understood in Afrikaans. They will explain it in Afrikaans. In whose land? That thing is wrong. We cannot accept it. All of us here, when we are here and we are angry, and this does not move you, then I want to reiterate that a revolution is indeed coming. Lastly, you have said, Prof Mabizela, that we have to start writing, and you spoke about someone who's actually starting writing about our history. No. That comes from a colonized mind, Prof. I'm very sorry. Because our history has been there a long time ago. We cannot start making history when we've been making history. We cannot start learning white history because now all of a sudden we have to write. Our history was told. we told our history, stories. Now suddenly the white man comes with a pen and it overwrites everything. Yes, we understand the importance of keeping it, but we are saying to our fellow white brothers here that, look, you must now understand that I am not saying that you must run back to the sea. No, that's not the argument of transformation, although it wouldn't be a bad idea. But the issue on transformation is very simple. We are saying when we go to England, we are subjected to the laws of the English. But when the white man comes to South Africa, he is subjected to Dutch law. Who is Dutch here? None of you. Do you understand? Lastly, myself being a law student, Prof, I am saying that please take indigenous laws seriously. Take us seriously. The laws that King Yinza no Shaka made. Those are the laws we should be learning about. You cannot say that when you got here there were no laws, as if we were uncivilized. You yourself, you are undermining us even. It's my first time talking to you, in fact, but I've seen you in a lot of places, and I'm telling you now that, Prof, the security. I'll give you one last point, comrades. This is an analysis. Your house, Vice Chancellor, is now at this moment we can send someone who will see fidelity all over. Do you know that one of our students in Soweto fell? They robbed him and stabbed him to death. Do you know how many of us they rob in Fitas? And do you know when we go to protection services what they tell us? They say they only have jurisdiction on campus, yet you yourself are credit of campus accommodation. What do you mean when you say transformation? I want to know, because transformation, it means that now your son, Prof, and the sons of these prestigious men sitting here are protected. Because they come here in their A-class Mercedes Benz and they drive in and they drive out and go home. Who is subjected to these robberies? Who is subjected to all these ailments of society? It is the black child. So who must at the end of the day forfeit education? The black child. Who must fight for this education then? Us all here. We must be angry and we must do something about it. Whether it is bringing this institution down, that is up to us to decide, not up to you to tell us. That's very clear.
I thought we agreed that a woman
Hold on,
would
everyone.
speak.
Can you please, sorry everyone, can you please just listen to each other, please? Hold on.
She's speaking.
Can we please? Can we please just listen to each other? Otherwise, we can't. You can't have a conversation if you're not willing to listen.
Chief, she's speaking. Thank you.
Everyone, please settle down. That lady at the back, can you please introduce yourself and then speak, please?
Hi, Kamala Mande. Kamala Mwane.
Order.
All right. Nguawa Ndezwane from S.A University. And the first thing I want to say is, you will not police black rage. You will not police black voices. Because we came in here, when we got our invites or by email at S.A University, they said this is a chance for students to address faculty members, to address people who be attending the summit in Durban about our lived experiences in these universities. When we do that, you want to come and say, no, we're shouting. We must listen to each other. No, you cannot police black voices. Do you think it's easy to live in your own land where you don't speak your own language, you don't learn in your own language, right? And you want to come to the brutality that black people have to face, not just physically, but all the racism that we have to face, and then you still want to tell us to be respectful in how we approach you and how we express our rage. That's not going to happen. Secondly, you were asked earlier.
1, 2.
Okay, you were asked earlier. There was a question earlier also raised about the difference between decolonization and transformation. And one thing I want to say is that my problem with the word transformation is that the issues of other races creep themselves in, right? Because Then when you speak about transformation, then we speak about LBGT, then we speak about gender. And those are important issues, yes. But there are white gay people, there are white women. And then their voices then come in and intersect and are louder than those of people who are looking for racial transformation. So what I'm saying is, don't clump transformation into one thing. You need to say racial transformation, LBGT transformation, and gender transformation. Decolonization is about racial transformation. That's what we want. That's what's been overdue for the past, since the 70s. So when you guys go to Durban for your summit, know that this is what we say. Decolonize, not transform, decolonize these universities.
Thank you.
Sanbonan Nonke. Sanbonan.
Hold on.
Sanbonan. Kelukuluma. Sanbonan. Kelukuluma. Kelukuluma. Sanbonan.
Hold on. Can I just say, this gentleman here, he's had his hand up for the longest time. Okay? And then, no, listen. Everyone is gonna get a chance to speak. Can you please just? We're not gonna get anywhere if we're gonna fight over who has the chance to speak. We're not gonna get anywhere if this is how you're going to because listen. There's a gentleman here who's got a mic. He's ready to speak, and then there's someone up there at the top, and then they're gonna 1, 2. Is that okay with you? 1, 2, please. Now, please give him a chance to speak. Otherwise, there is no point to any of this. Come on, guys.
Hello.
Sir, please speak.
Amandla. I want to speak about a certain reality. I want to preface first before I make a comment.
Sorry, hello? Right, sorry, so you were asked to wait. There was rowdiness from the top. Sure, yeah? So before I speak, for the sake of democracy, I'm going to allow you to speak before me. Sure.
Sorry, my sister. Sorry.
Been taken from
No. Sorry. Hello. Hi.
No, it's fine.
Hi. Sorry, there's still a moderator in this debate.
No.
Sorry. Hi. Hello.
No. We have a chairperson. We must respect the chairperson.
Hi, everyone. Listen.
Comrades, we have a chairperson.
Listen, everyone. Listen, guys.
Comrades, we have a chairperson.
Listen, everyone. Listen, everyone. Listen. When somebody asks you to please allow other people to have what you were granted, the right to speak, they're not trying to police your anger or anything like that. They are asking you to accord someone else the same courtesy that was given to you. So can we please do that for each other? Otherwise, there is no point to doing this. Okay? I mean, I don't have to be here. I could be elsewhere, right? But I am here because, okay. All right, fine. Cool. Sit down. Guys, sit down, please.
Right, so the issue is that, right, this conversation, Amandla! The issue is that you think this is your platform. You see, please allow me to see. Please allow me.
I'll allow you. No, ma'am. I'm going to allow you to speak. Of course. No. I'm going to allow her to speak. All I wanted to say... No, hold. She's going to speak. No. Order. Order, comrades. Order. Please. I think we want to continue with this conversation, right? Isn't it? No, please. We're still going to talk. No, that's what I'm coming here for. But I'm coming for that here. That's why. No. That won't happen. So, let us bring things just together for a moment, okay? We still have an hour of conversation. Please. We're not going to speak here on the stage at all. That's my promise. Yeah? On this stage, are we willing to give up all of our time? We will give your student leaders a chance, of course. We will give your student leaders. I'm saying as management, we're not going to say anything. We're going to listen to you. Or shall I say continue to listen to you? Yeah? So please, all that I'm asking now, right, is let's give each other a chance, please. Diakela, please.
Amandla! Comrades, it's clear that this transformation agenda is not going to be a very smooth process. Look, and I agree. We are today because of violence. And I understand where is this rage coming from. But for us to consolidate, because if there's one thing that university management continues to use so that our agenda does not prevail is to divide us. As students, as young people in this room, I think we need to take it upon ourselves that we are going to be united, and by uniting ourselves, I'm talking about giving each and every one of us here a chance to voice their views on this transformation agenda, because we are going to UKZN, to KZN, to represent these masses here and not this panel. So I think with all due respect, Program Director, please, I'm used to this message and I'm used to this crowd. Can you allow me to chair this sitting? And colleagues, look, comrades, Amandla, Michael Pants, look, we do not know how to dialogue. And if she has a view, it's her view. You don't have to howl to say now, why is she saying that? It's part of this dialogue. We are going to have different views until we get to a point where at least we have consensus. So we're going to take hands and we're going to move with, of course, gender balances, because that's part of transformation. So look, I'm going to give Ulo, the president of the S.A Universities, because she had asked for a mic when she was there and she had to walk all the way here.
Thank you very much, SG. Maibuye! Look, man, I'm highly disgruntled. As a president-elect, I have been told I must go represent my constituency, Wits University. I must go represent inland universities that are supposed to be represented here today and speak on issues of transformation at the DHET summit in what's it called, in Durban. But when we are trying to express our views, when the people I am meant to be representing, Smangaliso, you're also coming with, right? Sure, right? when we are supposed to be representing people sitting here, there's a director, or what do they call program director, who thinks the session is his. It's not yours. It's not,
I never thought it was mine.
It's not yours. It's not yours.
I never thought it was
It's not
mine.
yours.
No.
Be quiet.
Huh?
I'm going to address the issues now.
No, I'm not going to be intimidated by anybody. No. Sorry. I am not going to be intimidated by anybody.
Masibam, Makom.
Not impressed by pointers.
Masibam.
No.
Lita. Masibam. Right, so it's fine, guys. Many people, yeah, well, it's okay, this thing. It's fine, right? The issue that I have to speak on today, besides my disgruntlement, and besides being particular representatives of very unrevolutionary councils sit before us and try to massage us. I'm remembering sitting in a council meeting on Friday and really feeling like, but as a student representative that's been elected by students to come and represent them in this council, really, I feel like I have no power. I have, guys, it's the most frustrating thing to sit somewhere and people say, no, here's power, here's a seat, you can come sit here in council, and we'll listen to you as a representative of students, and we'll give you tea, and we'll give you biscuits, and we'll give you like nice kebab sticks with like, strawberry. But no, you're massaging me so that by the time you come and you tell me that our fees have been increased by ridiculous, unsustainable or unsubstantiable amounts, I can't no longer articulate what I need to articulate on behalf of my black brothers and sisters who are either denied access to this institution because of your ridiculously high upfront fee payments, or who are denied opportunities to succeed in this institution because of this ridiculously high amount of upfront fee payments and increments to our fees. Guys, these institutions are not ours. We must not be lied to. As SRCs, they're trying to make us mere prefects and puppets and I don't know what, right? And the moment you speak up, we're told we're shouting. Like, to an extent that in council, I think if I were to jump onto the table and bang and be like, oh my gosh, this is nonsense. How are you as a black person allowing and voting against what we as the SRC know is representative of students? How are you as a black father, a black mother, voting against transformation in this institution? It hurts, guys. It hurts. It truly hurts. But nonetheless, look, it's fine, right? It's fine. Really, they are just, they're representatives of this white monopoly capital system that we live in. It's not their institutions. Guys, it's really wrong for us to sit and talk to these VCs as if they have any power. They don't. The reality is that they don't. They are also puppets and prefects. That's the truth. So shame, guys, and I'm going to wrap up so we can all talk, yabo. Shame. Let's just forgive them. Not forgive. What we need to be doing, guys, is ensuring that our schools, our nursery schools, our primary schools, our high schools are represented by our black teachers.
Seriously.
We need to go and we must be teachers ourselves and implement the curriculum we want. It must start there. The media houses. Let's not, guys, we all want to be academics. That's great, but we must start there with my little sister, Unanziwe, who's 9 years old and thinks she must learn Afrikaans. What the nonsense is that? She comes back home celebrating the fact that she can articulate 3 sentences in Afrikaans. That's nonsense. Right? But of course, if we don't make her learn that Afrikaans, she's going to fail. So we put in but nonetheless, our media houses, the media needs to be representative of this South Africa that we're living in. Right? We must stop my journalists, our students who are doing journalism and media and so forth. Guys, when you go into these spaces where you get employment, I urge with you that you do not transform. I don't know what's happening there. I hope you do not transform and get swallowed into a system that you don't truly believe in. Right, I'm going to wrap up. Ntate Mokodimo, I hope you can stop making those racist comments, ne? Stop it. Stop it. We're very angry. Stop it. I'm warning you. Right, so my last few remarks, guys. Our law firms, our accounting firms, all spaces of economy, we need to infiltrate them. Let's start opening our own businesses, as tough as it may be, so that we can try, to some extent, play a role in the economy. Because for as long as the economy does not belong to us, these VCs will still be fed by the current white monopoly capital system that we have in this country. Amandla, away Maibuye, away with racism, away with racism, away with capital, away. Viva transformation, viva!
May I speak? Please, may I speak? Before Prof. Rensbeck speaks, may I speak? Prof. Rensbeck, please, Prof. Rensbeck.
Let's move to this. Let's move upstairs to get
Yes, thank you.
You've got a microphone there. Please go ahead.
Jeez.
Please go ahead.
Speaking as Karavos Kukuni from the University of Pretoria, sadly.
Where's the microphone?
I'm here.
No, let's have it upstairs, please. We've not had a chance for upstairs.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm over here. I
can't see you. Sorry.
Prof, I'm over here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead. Sorry, I got you. Go ahead.
Speaking as Karavos Kukuni from the University of Pretoria, just like everyone here, I am angry. But first, can I address the VCs that are sitting there? You guys, I don't know, maybe it only happens at UP, but you get statistics that are cooked. And when we challenge you guys to come and do a head count, to come and see what's going on for real, you don't want to because you believe whatever PT gave you is the right thing. Number two, we come and we speak to you and we give you our anger, we tell you how we feel. I don't know if you do this, but I know the VCs invite the SRCs to little dinners and lunches and breakfasts and etc. And they come and they want them to talk about issues. However, the VC will set the agenda. How do you call a student representative council when you are the one who sets agendas? But anyway, moving right along. There's the big issue where we are out here trying to discuss transformation, and then there's people that want to insert themselves into the transformation that only involves the black people. We need spaces. We need spaces to talk about black issues, to come up with solutions, to come up with reasonings, to fight amongst each other if we have to, but eventually we need to come out as a black body that is together, that knows from then how do we move on and transform the rest of South Africa and all the other spheres that needs transformation. I'm not against intersectionality, but I need to say, before we are intersectional, we need to fix the little problem. Yes, it is a small one. That is black issues. Number four, we are students in universities, and we are out here, we are little black bodies in white spaces, and we are told to assimilate instead of being comfortable. We are just supposed to, no, let's just form part of whatever UJ thinks is the right thing to do. However, you don't know where I come from, you don't know what's going on, but I must just be okay with reading welcome, welcome, instead of welcome, welcome. It's not right, it doesn't make sense. We go in the University of Pretoria, they still do this parallel class or whatever it is. Please note, in case they don't know, it is very economically economically stupid to have Afrikaans lectures. It is economically stupid to have Afrikaans lectures because it's more expensive to pay an Afrikaans lecturer. So if we are all going to do this transformation thing, justice needs to occur first. Firstly, we need to take away so that someone else can be able to be on the same level. We can't all try to look over the wall when Karabo is 1.5 meters tall and you're 1.9. I can't see over that wall. You need to give me a leg to stand on. I think that will summarize all that I need to say.
Thank you. I think there are a couple who still want to speak up there. Can we move the mic along? Okay, in front, and then we will come to you.
Thank you very much.
Now, can I appeal? If we can limit our conversation, and don't shout me down, please. If we can limit it to 3 minutes, then we can get 10 more speakers. Is that okay?
Okay.
So you're going to get 3 minutes. I'm not going to watch my watch. I'm going to rely on you and depend on you. Okay? And then there's one more view.
Some of the things that I'm hearing.
Okay, we'll give the 3 of you up, and we've got 7 down here. That's fine. Oh, we'll give you a chance. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Stembiso Kashandu. I'm a federalist, by the way.
Can you repeat again?
My name is Stembiso Kashandu, a federalist. Thank you very much, Chair, for what you are trying to do, because I was very worried that it seems like the reason why we are here, we're even losing it. Why? Because the meeting is degenerating. Everyone just speaks whenever they want to speak, and speak is hard. And we don't even understand now what is happening. But thank you very much if you are going to try and control it in that manner. I want to throw a proposal to this house and to every student leader that is here, that as much as we are concerned about transformation in education, this is the very same thing that makes our young South African future leaders are not going to move forward, because we are scared to tell each other truth. What is happening here is that there will be no transformation.
Order. No. This can't work like this. Allow him to talk.
There will be no transformation when you...
Sorry, what was this?
There will be no transformation. Never worry, Chairman.
Please. Just let him have his 1 more minute, please.
Yes.
No. Allow him to have his last minute, please.
When we as young South African leaders, when you are from Rhodes, you look down to someone who's from TUT, you look down from someone who's from UJ, you fail even to meet once. You wait for these people to unite you. If we are serious about this revolution, it's high time that we unite ourselves, the student leaders, and be united. Education is not an organizational issue. It's no more about being SASCO, being EF, or being anything. We have to be united and unite ourselves, not to wait these people to unite us. I make a proposal to each and everyone, student leader is here. I speak with your conscience. Make sure that you organize ourselves and we get to be united. Let us never wait for these people to call us here and try because now it's all about everyone wants to claim how intellectual capacitated you are, and everyone wants to claim how believers are. What you are doing here is just nonsense. We are all actors here. Thank you very much.
Okay. There's one last up there, and then we're going to come. Yeah? There's one last view up there.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for this opportunity granted to us. My name is Tabang Matebula. I am a law student here at the University of Johannesburg. My problem is that all of you leaders and professors, you make as if you are with us while you are against us. The day I will support a professor or you, Vice Chancellor, it is the day I will hear in the newspaper that Professor Ransbeck has unblocked all the University of Johannesburg students who couldn't afford their fees. Then the board has taken him to court. We will support you then. Not hovering around here as if you are with us while you are against us. You know very well that we can't afford those expensive fees. You know, for a black student to be at the University of Johannesburg, it is very expensive. It is very much expensive to be at the University of... It costs more than a car to be here at the University of Johannesburg. More than a bond. A person pays less a bond than me here at the University of Johannesburg. While I gain nothing, I'm subjected to Afrikaans. I have to read lectures lecture slides written in English and Afrikaans. I don't know whether that's Afrikaans or Latin. Sometimes I omit while it's Latin. I am wrong. You see what I'm subjected to this university. We are very angry. If it means that we should bring down this university, and we will, surely but slowly we will do it.
Thank you. Let's give you that.
No, but can we be taken serious up here, please?
No, Chief, please, no.
Thank you very much. My name is
Relax,
Fasiha. I'm from the VIS SRC. I'd like to welcome the SRC of TUT and make my submission quickly very first. Mine is really a submission around workers and the worker issues that we face. We've mentioned students, and in light of the October 6th movement, it's very, very pertinent that we mention it. These are our mothers and our fathers who clean our campus, who clean our toilets, who make sure that the lawns that we sit on during the day are well tended and cared for. Those same workers who make sure that our lecture theatres are spotless in the morning that we wake up. Let us not forget the workers in the transformation debate. And I urge every single one of you sitting in this lecture theatre to please join us tomorrow in the October 6th movement when we march against the outsourcing of workers and the exploitation of the working class. I'd like to hand over now.
Amandla! Hey, two! Hey, boy! Thank you very much. I'm from TUT. My name is Comrade Twin. I'm from one of those universities that are previously disadvantaged. When we speak to transformation, it's a topic that is very closer to my heart. Because TUT has been dented in the media and forgetting that what are the issues that are confronting that particular institution. Number one, you have black people who are being fronted in position of power, where in strategic position they've placed white people. Hence you find that when we go and embark in a strike, we are fighting for those particular issues that are directly affecting black people. Because if you can check in finance, people who are in charge of finance in TUT are white people. So it actually gives you a clear picture of what actually leads. It actually gives you a clear picture on what actually is happening in TUT. Because we know for the fact that white people will never at any given point have any best interest of black people in their heart. They will never go extra mile to go and negotiate for the funds of black people. One thing they know is to run administration and stick to their policies. They do not understand the general struggle of black people. That's why this transformation, it is very important that in TUT, black people will never at any given point find signage, because then they will never be in charge of any process that are strategic and are more liberating to black people. Amongst other things, you have a strategic department or strategic faculty that are predominated by white people. Like for instance, you have faculty of engineering that is being dominated by white people, white minority people. Then you go to faculty of humanities, you find all black, you'll never even find a drop of white person there. And if you can check there, and if you can check, all the funds of the university are being channeled where? To the faculty of engineering. All sponsors are being channeled, all these sponsors are being channeled to the faculty of engineering. They will never be channeled in faculty of humanities. And you find that these are the people who actually deserve those particular funds, because white people know for the fact that they are from an allied environment or allied communities of Sandton. But black people are from Matatiele, are from Guyana. They do not have funds. That's why the issue of transformation, it is very much important in TUT. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Good evening, comrades. I'd just like to point out a bit of a concern. But just give me a hearing. Give me a hearing. Come on. I want to raise a concern. I feel like this conversation is very, very slowly slipping into the trap of black essentialism, which could be very, very one-dimensional. It's a very one-dimensional conversation to have. And let me explain why I say that. this conversation has failed to recognize the importance of intersectionality within the decolonization and transformation project. What I mean by that is that I am unable to separate my womanhood from my blackness. I am unable to separate my sexuality from my womanhood and my blackness. I am unable to separate the fact that I am not heteronormative from my blackness and from the fact that I'm a woman. So the fact that we are only speaking about a black struggle is highly problematic. We should be speaking, listen.
Mangalis. Okay. It's all right. It's okay. Okay, no, it's fine.
The space is violating.
Okay. No, don't respond.
Order.
Very much aggressive.
Order. Remember what I'm trying to do here. Remember what we are trying to do here. We want to get many more voices. Okay?
It doesn't work.
All right?
It's not working.
We are women.
Relax. Okay. We've got 2.
No, up here.
3, 4,
Even up
5,
here.
6, 7,
No,
8,
but
9,
up
10.
here.
Finish. That's
Why
the
are you
10.
counting downstairs only?
Let's begin here.
Professor Rensburg.
I'm coming this way.
Comrades.
I'm coming this way.
Is it working?
Professor Rensburg.
Comrades.
Professor Rensburg.
To your mouth. Don't try to look cool. To your mouth.
My name is
Into your mouth. Speak into the mic.
Professor Rensburg.
Okay, comrades.
I'm coming.
My name is Tumelo. I'm from Val University of Technology. I'm going to attack this issue based on economically, not racial, because I know it's going to waste my time. Starting with the governments. They have implemented so many solutions in terms of business empowerment, especially when it comes to both races, white and black, such as
please.
There are other structures which they introduced, like CEDA, they introduced CIFA, they introduced NYDA, which we as a youth, we thought that it could help us. Yes, it helps those who have applied. But speaking on my experience, I have done so. I have applied for such kind of structures. CEDA, yes. But when you go there to those kind of people, they demoralize you by trying to tell you how difficult it is to start your own business. They're telling you that you must climb the Mount Everest first before you can start your business.
Yes, but you see,
and on top of that, while they demoralize the youth of South Africa on starting their own businesses, now it comes the government. As I listened to the parliamentary on the 8th of our deputy president Cyril Ramaphosa.
Comrade, they want you to come to your point. What is your point? What's your point?
My point is that they are busy investing outside, like they said. They are investing in Japan. They were questioning Cyril Ramaphosa, our deputy president. What is your motive?
What's your point, man?
What are you doing for us as the youth? Based on economically.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Professor Rensburg.
Okay, go ahead.
Professor Rensburg.
Order, comrades. Okay, wrong word, comrades. Order. Audience, order. Let's listen to each other, please. Sit down, I will come to you.
Professor Rensburg.
Salapans. Salapans. Sit down, I'm coming.
Professor Rensburg, Professor Mabizela, and others. My name is Ernest Dwayner.
No, please.
I represent
No,
no
man.
students, but I represent 750 unemployed young people from the East Rand who have no able way to get a tertiary education because of access. There are no universities on the East Rand except for 2 little campuses in Davyton. We have 750,000, that's the mayor who's given that figure, of young unemployed people who have, and they have no way of getting an education because it's too far. The Department of Higher Education has told me that Gauteng has enough campuses, but they're all in Pretoria or Johannesburg.
So you want a university for Ekulurend? That's what you want?
I beg your pardon?
You want a university for Ekulurend?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Point
Can I just tell you where? In Brakpan.
We've got your point.
There's already facilities for it. There's
We've got your
3.5 billion rand infrastructure, and children will stay at home. We don't have to have residences. They stay at the home. They come in the day. Come at home and come in the day.
Please feel free to hand over the microphone now. Thank you. Let's come down here to...
We're here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, I think...
Also people up here.
I'm coming.
There are people up
Please go
here.
ahead.
Thank you very much. Comrades, Amandla! First and foremost, we were brought here and we were told that there's a rise of student activism. When so many years we have been excluded, we have been charged, but our fights were not taken into consideration because we didn't go to the media. Now all of a sudden, we've got campaigns about Leicester. Now management wants to say, we are happy to see that you are active. We have been active all these years, but you never took us seriously. And now that we are angry, you're making us look like angry, disgruntled black people. We are unhappy about, the Vice Chancellor spoke about from 7 to 37% of black people that we see now at UJ. How many black people in percentage live in South Africa? How do you sit there and you are proud of the fact that you can say 37? How many black people live within this country? We are not a minority, and we are tired of being treated like a minority, and we need to be taken seriously. And the problem here is that management doesn't realize. They say to us, Tina, we don't listen, we are disgruntled, we just break buildings, but we have nothing to offer you. You say we don't want to listen. What will we offer you? We've got nothing to offer you. You must get to a point where you sit down and you listen to us and you stop charging us and accusing us. We are fighting for our workers. I'm going to go to a strike on Wednesday to fight for our mothers and fathers who are not getting paid enough. But management will not look at the reasoning, which is a pure reasoning, which is that black people must be taken seriously. We will be charged for a good intent, for fighting for our parents. And management needs to start taking us seriously. We are not going to come to this meeting. Tomorrow on your website, you're going to write that, no, we had a progressive meeting with the masses that we represent. That's how we're going to fight. Because tomorrow you're going to go to the media and say, no, we consulted student leaders, we consulted students. You didn't consult us. You brought us here to a lecture. You didn't want to have a conversation.
Okay.
And until we have a conversation, we will not stop being angry until we are heard.
Okay. All right. I can tell you that it is live on YouTube, so there's no massaging of what's going on here. It's live on YouTube. Okay.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor, I'm here. Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up there first. Up there.
To someone smang there, you'll know who you are when you're responsible. I'm a very hurt young black man. I am hurt, one, because I was born in 1994. My mother had to run away from who we were. To feed me into society, because the only way we could go into the future was for me to only know English. Now I'm a young man who was bullied my whole life because I know no vernac. I was bullied by my black brothers because I know no vernac. Because the only way out for my mom was to put me into a society that's English. But now you speak of transformation, you want to transform the same education system that got me where I am. Instead of starting over and saying, okay, there's a hurt young black man, let's start over. Let's not let anybody go through that anymore. Because now what happens is, I, as a black man who knew my English is fine, but my fellow friend who is Zulu first had to get 70% to get into engineering. His maths is 99%, but because he got 60 for trying hard in a language that is not his, he couldn't come here. But you do not speak of that transformation. You want to transform something that is not ours. This education, my black people, it is not ours. You cannot transform something that is not ours. You cannot rent me a car and tell me you want to give me a Mercedes. It's still a rental. It is not mine. I want my education. I want it now. I am hurt. I am angry. And I won't stop until you help me or you will fall.
Yeah. Okay. I'm here. Vice Chancellor.
Where are the microphones? Let's
I'm
see.
here. Just here. Down here.
Right here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Still up here, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, comrades. By the name, my name is Mlungisi Matane, president of Harankwa campus in TUT. To be honest with you, we are aware of what management is doing. We are taking advantage of our intellect because now you guys are professors and you know we are just mere students. And for you, we are inferior. Mind you guys, when we sit in a boardroom, on that table that we keep on rejecting as TUT, these are professors, they keep on challenging us intellectually so. And sometimes we don't understand this rhetorics. Hence, when we reach a deadlock, we go to the streets. You know what they do? They neutralize us. Recently, they came with a policy of striking. A policy that says you must first apply for striking. What is that? How? I am pending right now. How then do I apply for striking? It doesn't make sense. That desire will be gone in 2 weeks' time when they accept that thing. It doesn't make sense. They are very fond of neutralizing us when we challenge them. We will never stop challenging you. In fact, this thing is going to be HIV/AIDS. We are going to spread it across all universities. We are going to understand that the revolution will continue. If you want us to transform yourself and be one of us. You see now, I'm wearing all stars. I'm always ready for the revolution. I'm not going to wear kick and pawosas because these things are not convenient for me. People who are wearing kick and pawosas, they are not for the struggle. We are going to move with processes. We are going to fertilize the ground. When we fertilize the ground, other companies, they say to us, no, these comrades are hooligans. In fact, they even write on their doors, no TT students. They do not want to hire us because they are afraid that we are going to intimidate them. We are aware that there's a lot of corruption in universities. We are aware that there's a lot of nepotism. Let alone the fact that when you come back to us, you tell us that, no, the university is bankrupt. But you are driving an X6. Your wife is driving another X5 there. How is that possible? How is that possible? Your children are attending Model C schools. If you are broke, we've never seen you broke queuing with students. If you wanted to be one of us, be black and join the crowd. If there's a queue of NSFAS at the cafeteria, come and join us. Feel what we are feeling as students. We are bending right now. We're not going to stop just because you want us to stop. You might try to neutralize us. Even the previously our Nelson Mandela and the likes were neutralized. They were even taken to jail. But you know what happened? They won. It is not the end, because at the end, everything will be okay. Now we are in a free education march. We are going to continue the struggle until we understand what we mean by free education. If you are going to sacrifice your salary for one black child, we are going to understand now that, in fact, you are starting to be part of us. But for the mere fact that you are still wearing your fancy shoes, you don't understand our all-stars. It's fine. We are going to run with the processes and we are not going to back down. In fact, vets, you must be prepared. White kids of vets will join us. Black kids of vets will join us. You are going to join us as well. We are going to demand free education, and we cannot be intimidated. If it means that, because you want to utilize us. Yes, we are aware. We are registered students of your institutions. You have policies to guide us. In fact, you have policies that govern us. We are going to mobilize the communities to champion our issues. Nevertheless, We are not going to back down. Thank you very much. This is TUT.
Addition. Can we be given a platform to speak?
I think
Amanda.
Can we be
Amanda.
recognized up here?
Okay.
Sorry.
Can
I be given a platform to speak? From this side, we are not given chance to speak. Sorry. She has an advantage of the platform. I am Teboho from Valley University of Technology. To the black students, let me say, black child, you are alone. And then to the management, I'm sorry to say this, but it is true. You are just puppets of the capital who are there just to pauperize black people even more. Because you look at the systems in the university, they are still the same as those of the earlier days. Those who are supposed to be represented, our student leaders, you are only few in the council. Your presence is not really felt. Like the leader from West there, she said that they are being massaged. Indeed, they are being massaged. They are being outnumbered right there. All right. As for the issue of transformation in terms of race, the issue of language will still remain relevant today. We will still fight for the same struggle that you were saying earlier, our leaders there, that you fought for in 1976. When you go to our neighboring campus, the Northwest campus, the first thing that will welcome you when you go there, it is the institution that is full of black students. But when you arrive there, the first thing that you get is welcome. We don't know who is, how are we supposed, that is not speaking to us. That is the first thing that should be scrapped off. It is the Basotho area where we should be seeing Oamurezu and all these vernacular languages that are speaking to us, the black masses. And then on the issue of transformation, as far as the staff is concerned, how are you saying that we are transformed while you get our mothers and fathers who are working on the ground, who are working without UIF, who are working without the medical aids and all that, those kind of benefits. At the end of the day, they don't earn enough for them to push us to go to the university and all that, because the same system is still pauperizing us. Hence I said in the beginning, you are the puppets that are there to further pauperize us. Amanda.
Wait, can we be taken serious up here?
Comrades, give one another a chance. We don't have to speak, all of us. If your point has been mentioned, you can as well sit down as well and allow others with a different perspective.
Yeah. Firstly, before I say what I want to say, I want to tell you, every one of you down there, to take us serious up here. And what makes me more angry is because I wanted to come down there, but I was denied by a white person to go down there. So you must take us serious up here.
Mancha! Comrades, colleagues.
Okay.
Comrades, colleagues. Comrades.
I was coming down there. I was denied by a white person to come down there.
Let's give her a chance. Let's give her a chance. My sister, you can speak. You can speak from where you are and you can walk down here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm fine here. All I want is your attention because she denied me. So now I want to come to the issue of Africans, which makes me more angry. I heard they mentioned it, and then I want to go to the issue of students who are graduating. If you look at the graduations, just go to the graduations, especially at UP. You'll find that black students who are graduating, they may be 30%, and white students are maybe 70%. If you look at that, you'll find out white students are doing their subject in Afrikaans, while black students are doing subject in English. And I believe that if a black student was given an opportunity to use her or his language to study, they were also going to graduate equally. So the issue of Africans should be banned. It's either, if it doesn't be banned, all Zulus here will do accounting in Zulu, Tswanas will do accounting in Tswana. That's it.
Let's have. I'm coming to you. Let's have the guys at the center here. Can we pass the mic here?
No.
But then I'm still talking.
Can we pass the mic there?
Because I've been trained to speak this whole time.
Thank you very much. Can I please have your attention, comrades? By the way, my name is Tuton Tulenyane. I'm from TUT. I like to concur with you, comrades, and agree with you and say we are angry. And I think, first, comrades, we need to accept and we also need to alert these people. They need to know that English is a foreign language. English is not our language to start off with. Secondly, they talk about decolonization. These people, they talk about transformation, but yet they increase registration fee, denying our students an access to education, while their salaries they increase. Tomorrow they will come and tell us that their universities are bankrupt, and yet their salaries they increase. Where's bankruptcy there? How is it possible that when it comes to saving black students, we are being told that institutions are bankrupt, but when it comes to their salaries, there's no bankruptcy? You puppets, actually this word, comrades, it must trend. These people, we must change their names from management to puppets. These people, we mustn't be afraid to tell them that they are useless. They are not contributing to our society, instead they are killing it. These people are destroying our education and we need to tell them. They are murderers of our educations. They are killing us, these people, and we must always tell them. And as for protesting, we'll always protest for free education. And free education is coming, comrades, whether they like it or not. We'll receive free education in this country. Thank you very much.
Leadership.
Up here.
Yes, I'm coming.
Mangalis.
Thank you.
Okay, well, okay.
Mangaliso.
Okay. Can we make it 1 minute?
Yeah.
Mangalis.
We're here to talk about transformation, and yet we forget that transformation is about inclusive education. If we're talking about inclusive education, we're talking about black community, we're talking about white community. But here, I see 99% students who are black, who are white, because we have to address a serious issue here, which is about racism that is happening in our faculty. We cannot ignore that racism is happening in our faculty. Where's our white people, white students? Because we're here to talk about transformation.
Amanda.
Okay.
The lady with the comrade, look. Comrades, colleagues. Yes, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm going to take the last 5 hands.
Okay.
We have about 15 minutes.
Can you count the hands?
Transformation does not have a due date. We will not finish it today. Can we have the yellow t-shirt?
Thank you, Nem. Thank you.
Amanda.
Thank you, Chair. This is a very good example of what happens in society, right? Where a woman speaks about how she cannot separate her blackness from how she's a woman, and men cackle. And that, and her view literally was dismissed because it doesn't affect you as men, and it's okay for you guys, right? As a black person, you listen, as black people, there's a male and then there's a female, If we are to win, if we are to win this racism, if we win, right? Women will still have the problem of patriarchy, Yeah, but we have no. Women have issues past racism. Black women have issues past racism. So listen. Yes, listen. I accept that. Yes, there must be other channels maybe. I want to address these things. But what I'm saying is, her voice cannot be suppressed now because it doesn't affect you as males.
She will not be suppressed.
We can't separate it. We are women and we are black. So my transformation doesn't look like your transformation. My transformation doesn't look like yours, and we should be given a chance. We must give them a chance to voice this. Thank you.
Up here.
Give me a chance.
Let's have one that side.
Honorable Chairperson. Can I make a point? Comrades.
Please make your point in 1 minute.
My point is very simple and very clear. My name is Mfundo Shope.
But before you speak, young people in this room, Before you speak, I'm taking you serious. And you must- comrade, up here, up there, please.
it's
Comrade,
fine. Can
look,
you-
young people in this place, we cannot allow this to collapse. We cannot allow this to collapse. We need to get to the end of this thing. Can we have that speaker there?
Ew. But my point is one. I'm a first-year student at the University of Johannesburg.
Yes.
Previously, last year I was doing my matric where I couldn't even access a textbook. And now I come to the University of Johannesburg. I'm expected to have an iPad in order to learn and get education. My studies are suffering right now. I'm getting 60%. Other students who have laptops and iPads, they are passing very well. In order for me to get a textbook, I have to cough out 700 rand. When my mother cannot even afford transport for me to come to university. That's my struggle. Let's transform this university.
Thank you
very much.
Can we cut pattern from there?
President.
Thank
you, Chair. Program director.
Okay, I'm going to give her.
Program
I'm
director.
going to give her a chance first.
Program director. Can you speak? Program director. Program
Comrade,
director.
Look. But why are you using the mic? Why are you using the mic?
Note me,
Can I be
please.
the only one who's using the mic? And when I stop, you use the mic.
Can you note me, please?
I'm going to give her a chance to speak, and then I'm going to give you a chance to speak.
yes.
Shoot.
Okay, Sharp, I'm from TUT. Hi, Dumela.
Take us serious.
The issue of NSFAS, why is it that we have insufficient funds to pay fees, but management is always getting their salary? Why is it that government has money to pay you guys, but doesn't have money to fund our black students to further their education, right? Number one, the selection criteria to different varsity versus the requirement, the minimum requirement. In secondary, we have 30%, but when you come to varsity, we have 65% in order for you to pass. Why should it be so high? Why? Registration fees in various campuses and institutions are very high. UJ, your registration fee is very high. TUT, you have 1.5. They can afford it as a black child. But when coming to University of Wits, University of what, they have outstanding fees like 30,000. Where is it taking us? We should lower our fees. As much as we don't have funds to pay for black students to get educated, we should not have funds to pay your salaries as management.
Yes. Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. Up here. Up here. Up, Chair. Up.
No, we are here now.
No, Chair. Can you note me, please?
Thank you, Chairperson.
No.
Thank you, Chairperson.
No.
Thank you, Chairperson.
No. Chairperson. No. Chairperson. Chairperson,
thank you.
Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairperson.
Chairperson.
But I've been granted an opportunity to
Chairperson,
speak.
I was noted.
Comrades,
can we be fairly treated up here?
Whoa, leader.
Can we be fairly treated up here?
Leadership.
We've been raising hands for long now.
Leadership.
Give us a chance to speak.
Can that man
give us a chance to
speak?
speak?
Okay, register your point in 1 minute.
No, you can't limit like that, Chief. You can't limit like that. You can't limit like that.
But
but you can't limit my range like that.
Can you register your point?
You can't limit my. Let me speak, Chief. I want to address an issue that is being neglected. That the agents that we are looking at, the vice chancellors that are here today, that we need to synthesize ourselves of what we're dealing with here. These are the councillors. You look at University of Johannesburg, you look at Northwest University. Northwest University is being divided into black and white. The white is the privileged and the black is underprivileged. And the vice chancellor was the rector of Mafikeng campus. The very same rector who suspended and expelled multitudes of students for raising the issues of the black child. So we need to zoom into that so that we don't get into a mirage where we expect these people to lead our struggle or to decolonize or transform. These people, the vice chancellor of this very university, we see how he treats black child even when there was marches where students were protesting, students were dragged on the floor of these universities. So we say, let us not be in a, my point, Chief, let's say, Chief, I'm saying we need to
speak to me.
My point is this: let us not mislead ourselves. We're wasting our time. Let us go and organize ourselves. These people are just here for talk shop. Let's organize and organize.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry.
These are the last 3 hands.
Yeah. Can you allow Unisa?
These are the last 3 hands. One.
Hey, no, Chairperson, you know at me.
Thank you, Chairperson.
No.
My name is Wari Chairperson. Since we arrived here, we've been here to discuss transformation.
Yes.
We don't need to speak with Vice Chancellor on whatsoever when we speak about transformation. We need a Department of Education. Because on January, when we come having problems, we've been talking to Vice Chancellor. Let the Department of Higher Education, they must be seated here. We must be addressing them. We are tired of keep on speaking of Vice Chancellor. If those ones who will be going in Durban, they must make it the point that the Vice Chancellor, the Department of Education, starting from the minister across, they must be there to be presented that department. Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can I be? Make a point.
Yeah, first, I want to dispute this meeting. Most of the time when we're about to speak, when we need to speak on transformation, the management is the one that has to call us.
Yeah.
When we call them, they don't come.
Yeah.
We call them on the streets, they don't come, these people. But we must come to them to discuss our things to them. Now, secondly, is that we are through with this this NSFAS issue. We need free quality education in our lifetime. NSFAS, we don't need it. So we can't sit here without a representative. Number one, there is no representative from the government here. Secondly, there is no representative for workers here that are not represented. Thirdly, there are representatives from the management, but black people are not represented everywhere. Everywhere. We cannot ignore the issue of racism in each and every institution. We are not going to ignore that. Free quality education in our lifetime. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The last speaker. Yeah, the last speaker is here.
Thank you very much.
No, it's not the last. It's not the last. My hand has been up for long. My hand has been up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my fellow previously disadvantaged student.
Shoot.
The moment we hear the white monopoly speaking about transformation in education, you must be aware that we are being fed hogwash. There is no transformation in education up to so far. Let me give you a practical example. We've got sports in different universities. Go to TUT. Soccer is dominated by black people. Soccer football club of TUT went to finals, but they are not enjoying benefits. Look at because rugby is dominated by the whites, they are enjoying the benefits of the university, whereas they are not doing anything progressive. Let us look at the number of professors between the blacks and the whites. We've got a lot of black graduates who are holding PhDs, but they are not being awarded as professors. Again, as long as an academic terrorism continue to dominate within the apartheid universities, there is no transformation in education. As long as scripts of our fellow students continue to be marked with their sign names, there's no transformation. Mandla.
No, thank you, Program Director.
Leaders, look, student leaders and
Can you allow UNISA to speak?
All.
Can you allow UNISA to speak, Program Director?
UNISA, let's hear UNISA.
Mangaliso.
Yes. You are given a chance.
Yes, thank you. We are here to talk about decolonization, right?
Please shoot.
What we need is an African university in Africa. That's what we want. UJ is not an African university in Africa. It is a university in Africa, but not an African university. So when we are saying we want a decolonized university, Professor Ransberg, you should know that we want an African university in Africa. And today, Van Ransberg, you are talking about there's no outsourcing at UJ. Where else there is outsourcing at UJ. We demand insourcing for the workers. So this rhetoric of you going to Soweto campus, talking lies as usual, because this is what these compradors do. They come here, talk their lies, time in and time in again. We are saying tomorrow, all students from UJ, let us meet at the main entrance with our parents who are cleaning our toilets, who are earning shit. They are not earning anything. They are
paid slavery wages at this time. You expect that a person should earn a 2.6 at this time. It's completely unacceptable. So guys, let's meet there tomorrow at the main gate. There's no decolonization to talk. We want a revolution. Let's go to the street. Let's burn this shit down. UJ is not our university.
Okay. Leadership.
There's no
Mandla. Guys, just to send our gratitude. Thank you very much for your participation. And I believe that we're going to rewrite the history of 1976. This is the youth that South Africa needs to celebrate next year, 16 June. Thank you very much for your contribution. Till we meet again. Thank you.
Well done, Mangaliso. Well done, well done, well done.
Hey, I call. Yo!